Right, we're doing something a little bit different here on the Kaiju Creative YouTube channel today, and that is putting together a customized Gunpla kit. And this is going to be an Iron Blooded Orphans high-grade kit, the Helmweg Reinka, and I'm sure I'm butchering that, but that is the kit. It's a pretty cool design for a Gunpla. I really like the horns there, the sort of buffalo motif, and that's what got me thinking when this showed up that I wanted to give it a custom paint job. And I'm taking a little bit of inspiration. You can probably see it right here. The Orix Buffaloes. Well, this is the Kitsune Buffalo logo from back in the day. I've already got a Gunpla, and this was an officially released kit back in the day. A high-grade Buffaloes themed Zaku. But I want to sort of make this kit a bit more closer to that Zaku. And what I'm gonna do here is sort of separate these lighter blues and give them a bit of paint. And I'm going to use the Tamiya color here, the dark Mika blue. Yeah, a little spray paint action. And that blue will hopefully be a lot closer in tone to the Zaku's blue. As far as the gold pieces here, I might give those a new coat of gold leaf, which is going to be hopefully give it a little bit of a shine as well. And as far as the blacks and the grays, those are probably going to remain untouched. But what I'm really excited about is also I got some custom water slide decals here to help bring this to life. So hopefully I'll be able to put some sponsors on, put the logo on. We'll see. We're going to go through the whole process here together. We'll see some painting, some assembly, some top coating, all of that good stuff. And we'll see what we end up with. Hopefully this turns out all right. I'm looking forward to the process, and hopefully we get a good result. So let's get this bad boy together. Okay. The first thing we want to do is get these blue parts separated so that we can give them a little coat of spray paint. And we'll open up the little kit with some nippers, and let's go about separating all this blue. And this process is pretty simple because obviously all the colors are fairly on their own. That's the whole point to a runner. There we go. So, what we're gonna do now is try to take that outside, because I don't really have proper ventilation up here. Hit it with the Tamiya color, and let it dry. And hopefully, it will come out matching Mr. Zaku Buffalo over there a bit more. And yeah, so we've got that separated, and then while we're at it, oh dear. Right, we've got that separated, and while we're at it, we might as well separate the gold pieces, because those gold pieces, like I said, are going to get a little hit of the gold leaf there, which will be good. And as far as the other pieces, the other runners, the darker colors, the internal structure, I'm probably not going to give those any hits of paint. Potential. There is some potential that I give them some bits of paint. I might actually try to hit his big sort of sword with something. Don't know what. Maybe I can make it out to look like a baseball bat. That could work. Or it might look pretty ugly. But again, this is all trial and error. I don't know how this is going to turn out one way or another. I'm just looking forward to the process. So, let's get outside and spray paint this bit of blue, shall we? Okay, let's make sure we've got some proper protection on before we start using the spray paints and the acrylic paints here. So, gloves are a necessity. Who doesn't like putting on some rubber gloves? You feel like an evil scientist or something like that. But yeah, outside we're going to get our pieces up and separated to make them a bit easier to coat with the spray paints and the acrylics. And again, we've got the Tamiya color here. Gonna give it a little bit of distance and just coat it up. I'm taking a bit of a chance, seeing how this adheres to the plastic. And it didn't put a top coat on beforehand, and already it's looking pretty good. It's sticking very well, and the color is looking really nice here in the sun. Now let's just put this down to admire it a tiny bit and let it start to dry. But next we're gonna get to the acrylic paint that we're gonna apply with a brush. Just gonna use a little bit of paint thinner here. And this process is nowhere near as fun as the spray paint. And also, you know, in hindsight, I probably should have just gotten some spray paint. It definitely took a while, and it definitely did not go on evenly, so we'll just have to see how it turns out. Wait to see if it dries. Okay, here we are a couple of days later. My parts have dried, the parts that I spray painted and painted. This, I'm really loving how this blue came out. I really think that's gonna go well. So you can see it pretty much matches the Zaku here, but has a nice metallic sheen to it. So yeah, really happy with that. And as far as the leaf gold with the paintbrush, it's not too bad. It obviously has that look of being painted with a paintbrush. I did put a top coat on it. I am still happy with how it turned out. I like the look of it, so yeah. Just gonna put this thing together now, see how it looks, and then we'll see where we have to go from there, whether it's the water slides, another top coat all over the piece. So yeah, let's put this bad boy together. I actually think one of the first Gunpla kits I put together, as a matter of fact it might have been the first, was an Iron Blooded Orphans kit. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. Had big like claw talon type feet though. I'll throw a picture up of it here. And that sort of started the craze of putting together Gunpla for me. I mean, I've not gotten too deep into it, hence why, you know, I'm not snipping some of the runners off and then snipping again. I do still like to put them together sort of quickly, not taking a lot of the time that a lot of people might do with these. But, you know, it's a hobby. I'm not going to be winning the Gunpla World Cup anytime soon, but I am liking the idea of getting into customizing a bit more here. What's good about this is I've got the custom water slides, and I can now get an idea of what can actually fit. I tried to do several sizes because I didn't really know what sizes. I could have taken my time, I could have done the research, but I didn't. But I do think some of this will fit. You know what, I'm gonna bypass the head. Yeah, I'm gonna just start with the right arm. So on to actually putting this Gunpla together, and like I said, I'm gonna leave the head for last and start constructing the body, beginning with the torso, moving on to the arms, followed by the legs. And in. And that wasn't too painful at all to do the right arm, so we'll do it again for the left. And this Iron Blooded Orphans kit goes together so easy. The instructions are really clear, the engineering is great, and I can already tell that when it's all together, it's going to move around really nicely as well. Okay, we're getting close. We got the waist now. So let's do ourselves a B30. I see you there, waisty. Yes, now there we go, that is. That is pretty cool, if I do say so. It's definitely a looker, but because of the uni. Okay, now, you know, there's still a couple of extra bits and bobs to do here. you know, weapons, alternate hands, and all that. But let's assemble him and see what we've got to work with here. So there he is. There he is in all his glory. Hello. Yeah, I just really like how it looks. Yeah, again, the paint just works well. But he's not done yet because custom water slides. Let's see about getting some of these on. Never the easiest thing in the world, especially for me, without much experience, but we're gonna see what we can do. Anyway, we'll have a look at what we're gonna do. Something like that. That's the inspiration. Right, water slides. Now, I think the big one to start with is going to be on the top of the head, and that is this bee. Right, let's hope I have a steady hand here, because this bee on the head is a big one. And you know, I think despite not measuring anything beforehand, this is going to fit pretty well. I mean, I know it's not perfect, but that's so much better than I thought it was going to turn out. I mean, let's do Ponta next. So I think we're gonna do Ponta right there. I am so happy I decided to go for custom water slides, because they are really gonna elevate this project, and they were so easy to order. I made the designs on Photoshop, sent them to the seller over on Etsy. He printed them out, sent them to me, and got them about 2 days later, all for under $10. Again, without measuring, which maybe wasn't the smartest idea, but I did luck out pretty well with my guesstimates. No, I'm happy. I'm very happy with that. And the quality of these prints is top-notch. Just high-quality prints. I'm amazed this is all working out, because I didn't take any measurements. I just decided to do a few different size options. And so far, so mother effing good, am I right? That's great. Not upset with any of this. I'm impressed that I managed to do this, that it's working as well as it's working. You know what? Again, I know these things aren't perfect, but that's a decent fit. Let's get them together. Let's assemble and just see what we have before any sort of top coats or anything like that. And there we have the Orix Buffalo Gundam. I know he's got a real name, so yeah, you can see it one more time. Custom paint for the blue parts, which was through a spray can. Custom paint for the gold parts, which was with a brush, which is why it looks a bit pokey. And then we've got some water slide decals. You've got the bee on the head there, Buffalo's logo on the shoulder, Mercari logo on the other, and then of course on the legs we've got Ponta and another bee, another big bee there. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I still have to obviously assemble the weapon, this massive sword, and I was thinking of giving that a paint job to more resemble a baseball bat. I've got some acrylic paints here, so I'll mix those up and try to get a color that sort of matches almost this bat with the Zaku, which that bat didn't come with the Zaku, came with another action figure, because I buy a lot of action figures, don't I? So let's let these water slides sort of settle, and I guess we'll try to maybe paint a baseball bat? Let's give it a go. And while I know the color isn't perfect after several coats, I do get something resembling a baseball bat color and texture, and I'm pretty happy with it. I might eventually revisit it, but for right now, taking a look at how it actually fits in with the Buffaloes Gundam itself, I am very happy with how it's turned out. Not much more to say here apart from that I really enjoyed the process of putting together this custom Gunpla kit. And I said it a million times throughout this video, but as a first timer, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I know I skipped some steps here and there, and I know I took some corners, but at the end of the day, it's still going to fit in really well in the Orix Buffaloes section of my collection. But what do you think? What do I need to actually focus on next time? What do I need to put the time and effort into a bit more to get more out of my custom Gunpla kits? Let me know in the comments below, and of course make sure you do all that YouTube jargon, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff to get more here on the Kaiju Creative YouTube channel, and yeah, we'll see you next time.